now I'm really happy to say I have the artist behind this week's Friction Banger sitting in the studio with me. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, make way for Golden Roots, who joins me right now. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, Bran. I'm real good.
So look, first of all, this is the first time we're properly meeting in my studio. I'd already played your Baba Dela Nanakana track. I think was that a year and a half ago, maybe?
Man, that was 2019.
2019. Yeah, wow. And things have changed since then. But the one thing that sticks out to me is that tune was definitely very spiritual and also very politically conscious. We'll actually hear it in a couple of minutes. And then this week's tune, this week's Friction Banger, a Sufi Tale. It's a drum and bass mix, and we'll talk about that as well, but it's a Sufi Tale. So I'm kind of thinking you're not just someone who wants to be on stage singing Punjabi tunes. There's a mission behind everything you do.
Yeah, there is, man. To be honest, a lot of the music that I'm making is conscious music. So I feel like there's a lot of amazing music out there, but that kind of soulful, melodious music. We talk about Sardul Sikandar Saab, all these amazing singers, but also music with meaning, and also music that connects you to something that's a little bit beyond the kind of materialism. So that's kind of the main aim, really, with the whole Golden Roots.
Well, look, that's beautiful, but where does that come from? Are you a massively religious guy, a spiritual guy, a political guy even? Because, a lot of politically conscious tracks don't necessarily mean that they're spiritual tracks. So where does it come from?
Yeah, I think it's just something that's I feel like it's grown up with me. I've always had this kind of maybe this divine connection, I'd say, and that's more Sikh related. Obviously, I'm a Singh Sardar, so I look the part in that sense. But there's always been this kind of, I'd say, this kitsch, this pull that's a bit more connected to the divine. When I sing obviously Kirtan and other stuff like that, that's when I really do that soulful singing there, that's when I connect, man. That's when I feel the vibes, and that's why my music's got to emulate that.
So you sing Kirtan, all right? I mean, this is very different because even though lots of singers I know, they may, and musicians may have started out, especially if they're Sikh, they may have started out learning in a
100%.
Gurdwara, but usually you'll find out, and then I left that when I was 15 and all of that kind of stuff. So is that still part of your life, doing the Kirtan and everything?
Yeah, 100%. So to be honest, it wasn't like that. So I had a haircut 5-7 years ago. I was out partying, I was singing. I mean, to be honest, my initial love is Punjabi folk music, listening to Surinder Shenda and all these kind of people, and that was what I was predominantly singing. But I went through this period, say it was a period of growth is what I'll call it, but man, I just literally shut off music from my life, to be honest, and just meditated, listened to Kirtan, listened to all these other things that were a bit more divine, a bit more soulful.
So you found the divine, essentially.
Not quite there yet, mate, but trying to.
Okay, well, look, we're going to play the tune that first brought you to my attention, and it was Golden Roots, which is, now you, but back then Golden Roots wasn't just you. So what's happened in the intervening years?
Yeah, so Golden Roots, to be honest, the initial conception of the whole idea was always for myself. So it was always for me to kind of come forward as a singer. But I guess I started differently to everyone else. Everyone else comes out with the music, with the releases. Mine was just, I enjoyed the live experience so much. We started with the band, but the challenge with that is trying to get 5 UK born and bred lads together on a regular weekend with 9-to-5 jobs. It's not the easiest thing ever. So yeah, we reached the point where I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to put some music out, and that's where Baba Dela Nanakana came out. And I was like, cool, well, I'm going to do this over beats, and I've got all these other kind of ideas. So now it's kind of single lone journey, but we still love for the lads. We're still meeting up. We're still playing. So it's all good.
And where does the name Golden Roots come from?
Man, to be honest, I actually sat this one down and thought about it. And I was like, look, if I'm going to come out, what kind of really resonates with me? And for me at the time, and I still think now, that whole idea of connecting back to my roots, you know, in Punjab, but I also feel some roots that are embedded here as a UK artist, understanding that, and also the element of, you know, the beauty of that. That's where the initial name came from.
All right, well, look, I'll tell you what we're going to do. This week's Fiction Banger, obviously, we've yet to play. Let's just go back to 2019. If you're someone at home who hasn't heard of Golden Roots, I think you'll enjoy this. It's pretty much different to everything else on the playlist at the moment.
What kind of social or political system is it when a man has no voice in...
Bobby Friction.
BBC Asian Network.
So that was Golden Roots, who's my Friction Banger artist for this week. And I haven't even played the Friction Banger yet. That was my introduction to his voice, his vibe, and he's with me right now in case you've just joined us. So, Mr. Roots, if I can call you Mr. Roots.
That's a good name.
We're now going to play in a couple of minutes this week's Friction Banger artist, and I know AS Kullar produced the original. He's someone I've had on the show. He was on the show a couple of months ago. Yeah. Once again, you know, next gen coming through. You know, his dad's Popsy Dolkiwala, right?
Tubsy,
yeah, not Popsy. Tubsy Dolkiwala, and that was just really interesting having him on the show, kind of talking about this stuff. Yeah. What I really like is this idea of all of these producers working together, vibing. So, how did you two get together? And is he, because his other stuff, some of it's really kind of out there, but a lot of it's straight up, you know, vicious bhangra as well. So how did this happen?
I mean, to be honest, this track's not even meant to be out. This was just me. I think it was me chilling. I recorded this literally at home. I mean, I'm sat on my vajja with a little mic. So anyone out there that thinks you need a mad studio to do this is corrected. But yeah, I literally just sang it for fun. And then Amrit got in contact via, what was it, Instagram? He's like, yo, like your stuff, this, that, the other. Cool, hit me up. Sent him the stuff over, and he comes back with the lo-fi beat. And I was like, yo, this is pretty dope.
He's great at that lo-fi stuff, especially. Man, you know, he kind of specializes in that. That's
his forte. It's like sweet pocket. But yeah, he just hit me up, and then before we know it, I had the track down, and I was like, dude, Valentine's is coming. This is perfect. And before we know it, the track was out.
Okay, so that's that tune. I've picked the Midnight Mix done by PKCthefirst, and you know, we don't hear that much drum and bass these days in terms of a desi level. I remember way back, you know, when I first started DJing as an Asian underground DJ. Every tune was a desi tune, a Bollywood tune, and it was drum and bass. So it was just really nice kind of bringing this vibe in, and it's proper 21st century drum and bass. So how did it get out to PKCthefirst?
Yeah, PKC, it's just, I mean, another one, man. It's just, thank God for social media, I guess. Yeah, he heard the track and he was just like, dude, some amazing soulful vibes on this. I'm feeling the singing. I'm feeling the way that you delivered it. And then he literally just said, dude, I've got a remix for you. And I haven't met the guy. Like, I haven't met any of these guys. Like,
so you didn't even say, can you do a remix? He just
literally sent me the remix. He's like, dude, here's a remix of your track. It's drum and bass. And I'm like, bro, this is so good. But literally none of the guys we've never met. I mean, strictly just phone calls. I've not even video called these guys. I don't even know if they're catfishing me. But yeah, he sent it across, and then boom, we released that as well. So
I love that, and I do think that without social media, the entire, especially for your generation, the entire Desi music scene, South Asian music would fall to pieces, because, you know, half the tunes that come to me now come usually from someone on Instagram going, check out my tune, bro.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh yeah,
that guy's me.
So all right, we're gonna play it right now. It's this week's Friction Banger. Thank you so much for coming in today, bro. Where can people find you? It's Golden Roots, right? But I don't want them to end up at a hair dye company.
Yeah. No, so yeah, just Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of that is Golden Roots or Golden Roots UK is the main tag, basically. So yeah, hit me up, check out my music, and there's definitely a lot more in store, and hopefully a lot more turning heads with the kind of music we're making.
That's great, man. I love that mission statement. Let's drop this tune. Thank you so much, bro.